Hi, welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk About It. Today we're going to have a discussion about distractions in your life and how to overcome them and stay on the right path. And then we're going to talk to Elizabeth Winquist from Brainfreezerz. Recently, I was in a musical and I had to learn a litany of songs that I sang with about 40 other people. And trust me, I am not a soloist. So at the end of the first performance, I looked out and saw my daughter and my son-in-law in the audience, and I ran off that stage to go talk with them. And of course, they both said how much they enjoyed the play, and my son-in-law says to me, "Kaylee said she could hear your voice." She said, "That's my mom." And again, I wasn't singing by myself, nor was I singing in a small group. I was one voice amongst many, and she could hear me. I was so moved by that. Kaylee's been listening to my voice since the day she was conceived, and 26 years later, she can pick me out of a choir. And the more I thought about it, the more I started thinking about hearing God's voice in the midst of all the chatter. If Kaylee can hear me in a choir of 40 plus members, shouldn't I be able to hear God, whether it's quiet or not? He should be that familiar to me. In the book of 1 Kings, chapter 19, the Lord said, "Go out and stand on the mountain in the presence of the Lord, for the Lord is about to pass by." Then a great and powerful wind tore through the mountains and tore apart the rocks before the Lord, but the Lord was not in the wind. And after the wind, there was an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake was a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire came a gentle whisper. When Elijah heard it, he pulled his cloak over his face, went out, and stood at the mouth of the cave. And then the voice said to him, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" Oh, friends, to be able to pick out his voice in the midst of all of that, and to have him say to me, "What are you doing here, Teresa?" The thought of it makes me want to cry and fall to my knees all at the same time. No matter how crazy things get down here, and no matter how loud things get, I want to hear my Lord in the gentle whisper just as much as in the crashing thunder. The truth is, He has been listening to me all my life. And just as Kaylee can pick out my voice, God can pick it out of a crowd too. And I long to be able to do the same. And when we come back, just three ladies with big opinions, all backed by a biblical standpoint. So hey, let's talk about it.
This segment is brought to you by Harry's Construction, whose motto is, "If you can dream it, we can create it." They are the kitchen and bath design experts, so call Harry's Construction for all your remodeling needs.
When it's time for a new roof, Champion Roofing is your best choice. We're a certified award-winning roofing contractor, meaning your roof is done right the first time. Call today.
Champion Roofing, we're the solution.
Welcome back to Let's Talk About It. We're now going to dive into the question about distractions and how we overcome them in this crazy world we live in.
What? What were you talking about?
Yeah.
Huh?
My brain is a
Who said that?
distraction.
Oh, wait,
It's
there's a pink sign back there.
I know.
Wow.
My brain's a breeding ground of distractions. So,
Oh my gosh. What are we talking about?
distractions.
Distractions.
Oh my, okay. Yeah, distractions.
Yeah,
It's hard. It's hard
is.
to focus.
Yeah.
it is.
But it's funny, the place that I probably find it hardest to focus sometimes is in my Bible reading
Oh, absolutely.
and when a pastor is giving a sermon.
Mm-hmm.
And why is that? Because I believe, obviously, Satan doesn't want us to hear
That's right.
or learn. So all these things come at us.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts that I'm like,
Where'd
what?
that come from?
I haven't thought about that in 15
Or that-
years.
I find like reading my Bible I purposely try to eliminate every distraction I can.
Same
like
here.
I want to. My heart wants to do that. So I try to eliminate all that.
Yes.
That is the one area of my life that I feel like I've succeeded in eliminating the distractions. But you're right. Like when I watch a movie, sometimes I can pay attention to the movie better if I'm scrolling on my phone.
You really can?
Yeah,
Yes.
I can too.
I don't know.
I can't.
Yeah.
I am. I need to be single.
Nope.
And
If I'm
Johnny's the
focused.
opposite. He's like, get off your phone, pay attention. I'm like, no, really, I am.
Yeah.
I can tell you what
I can
she
tell
just
you
said.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Now, my daughter, who is an excellent elementary school teacher, when she was young, she had a hard time focusing on one thing. And it makes her such a good teacher. She knows there are some kids that need to fidget when they're doing something.
Yes.
Yep.
Or she has that bouncy thing on the bottom of their desk, so they're moving so that
That's
they can
really
pay
good.
attention.
Yeah. Because every person really does learn differently.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
See, I am a front row sitter. I have always been, even in school, if we could choose where to sit, I'm on the front row. Because at church, when I have been forced to sit back, I'm like, oh, what are they doing over there?
Yeah.
They don't look like they're paying attention. Oh, and I have no clue what's going on.
And there's a lot more movement
Yes.
in today's, and that's fine, but there's just a lot more freedom to move around, I guess.
Yeah.
And so if you're in the back, you're just, oh, where are they going?
That's right. That's exactly
You know,
right.
you're bouncing around.
Yes.
I am trying to not mess on my phone during sermons.
Yeah, that goes in my
I'm
purse.
trying
Yeah.
very hard as of lately to not do that for my own sake.
Absolutely.
For my own sake.
Absolutely.
But I can't judge anybody. I can barely watch a movie. Just I swear I have adult ADD. I'm not even kidding. Like my brain is all over the place, and I function that way. And sometimes it's a blessing, and sometimes it's not.
Yeah. Right.
For me, I've had to really find things too to help me stay focused. For one, during a sermon, I always get out my journal, notebook, and I'm taking notes.
Yes.
Because then that's like the other thing I'm doing as I'm listening.
That's
so
right.
that helps me keep centered onto what's being said, not looking around so much. So that has really helped me is if I take notes during the sermon. That's a big thing for me.
Teresa, I think what you said, though, I can't judge somebody else, because I'm not them.
Right.
I'm not. My Sarah, I don't know if you've ever heard of something called buckyballs. It's a little square of tiny little magnetic silver balls.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And they can come
Didn't know that was
apart.
the name.
And she will keep those in her pocket at church so that she can take it out and she can fidget with something. That helps her concentrate. I can't say, oh, because you do this, you don't do it right. You're not paying attention.
Right.
No, that's not true.
Yeah.
Our kids especially, our littles who are in church with us, give them something to do. Ask them later on, what did you hear? What did you, and a lot of times they'll be able to tell you. A lot of times.
Yeah.
I've had to go back old school and buy a planner this year. And I put every little thing on it that you can possibly imagine. Every little thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm distracted. And I'm telling you, it's the way I'm wired. It's not anybody's fault. It's not my fault.
Yeah. No, that's right.
That's just how I function. And so that has helped bring a little bit of peace because
Right.
I will forget because I'm distracted. That's the biggest thing with me is because I'm so distracted, I forget. And that has helped tremendously. It's old school, and I know you can put it in your phone and leave
No,
notes.
I prefer to do it
but
that
I
way too.
Yeah, I'm
prefer
a
to write
paper
things
I'm a
person.
paper
Yeah.
person.
Me too.
Yeah.
And that has helped a
Yeah.
lot.
Absolutely.
Now, one thing that's a little, it's on the side of distraction, but I just wanted to talk about it a little bit is, we go through our day when God probably puts opportunities in front of us to witness or to pray over someone, and we're just going about our life, doing the grocery shopping, getting kids from here to there, whatever it is. And sometimes we're so distracted by life, by all these things, that we miss opportunities
We do.
that God
Just
has
right
placed
by us.
before us. In fact, I just had one where we were at Denny's eating, and our waitress came over, and she's like, sorry about my throat. I've had a sore throat. and I'm coughing, and we're like, oh, that's okay. And then she went away, and she came back, and she's like, oh, it's getting worse. Sorry. And she kept apologizing. And she must have said it 3 or 4 times. And at no point did I think, oh, maybe pray for this woman. And when I left, I got very convicted. It was like in that moment when we were done eating and then the distraction was gone, God was able to speak to my heart and say, hey, I gave you an opportunity here that you missed because you were so focused on the eating and what does your family want to eat and where are you going after this or whatever it may have been. But I wasn't tuned into how he wanted to move in and through me that day. When she said it like 3 or 4 times. So how often does that happen too?
Right.
You know?
Absolutely. And I think, Jesus washed the disciples' feet because that was culturally what they did, What it was proving to us is being a servant. If I am not paying attention how to wash my neighbor's feet, whatever that looks like in the moment, then I am not focusing enough on his voice to me.
Right.
I think I took on something to help out my neighbors with their kids for 7 weeks. And it is a struggle. I have to take them to the bus stop. I get so distracted in the morning, especially this morning, because I have all this stuff we have to bring. I was a nervous wreck. I'm going to forget these kids.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, oh my gosh. So I literally, I sit at the table with my coffee. I make sure everything's squared away, and I keep my eye on that clock, which is terrible.
I'll set my alarm.
I could just start doing something, and then those kids are an afterthought. So it's crazy.
I set my alarm
Yes.
because so I don't have to continually think about it.
Yes.
How about when you go into any given store and there's a sign on the door that says, "Did you leave your child in the car?"
Oh, I've never seen.
Really? Yes.
And listen,
Wow.
we see these things on the news and judge people, but I am telling you, I could see it.
Yeah.
I could see it happening.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that you just get so busy.
Yes.
Right. Your mind just goes so many places.
Yes.
And I was just looking up some things of maybe some tips to help us with that. And some of the things that said, start your day with God. Like that's huge. When you start your day, then you're renewing your mind, you're getting it placed on him and where things need to be for the day. And so I think that's huge. Being content. Are we content with our day? Or are we
that's a big one.
Yeah, like are we constantly, oh, I wish I had this. And so then our mind's going a million different places. But if we can be content where we are for that day and then be intentional that God has a plan and purpose for your life that day, being intentional with what that plan and purpose is and moving in and through that. And so those are just some things I thought, wow, yeah, those are really good, like especially starting our day with God, man. That is huge. Yeah, we could push it off till the end of the day. Yeah. And it's still gonna, God's still gonna speak.
Oh, absolutely.
But starting your day with him, there's just something about that. There's just something about that.
So we hope that we've given you a few tips on how to rein in your thoughts and to rein in things when you get distracted in life. And just so you know, you're not the only one. The 3 of us are in the same spot. And when we come back, we're going to have Elizabeth Winquist from Brainfreezerz.
Impact Productions, a multi-layer technology company providing on-site, online, and in-studio video services. Contact Impact Productions to capture your story.
Welcome back. We now have with us Elizabeth Winquist from Brainfreezerz, and she's going to tell us a little bit about that startup business. So, Elizabeth, tell us a little bit about yourself first, and then tell us how you went from that to Brainfreezerz.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me today.
We're glad you're here.
Yeah, it's kind of a shock how we came to Brainfreezerz anyway, so it's fun to tell the story. But yeah, I was born and raised here in Altoona, and I went to college down in Virginia and at Liberty University. And I met my husband there. We've been married for 15 years, and we have 3 kiddos. They're very spaced out in ages. We've got our daughter who is 12, Ava, and we've got our son who is 6, and his name is Malachi. And then we had a big surprise last year, and we have an 8-month-old daughter, Callahan.
Good for you.
Surprise! Yeah, big surprise.
First off, I can't even believe you've been married 15 years. You don't look over 20 years
I
old.
know. She
So
does look
I
she looks very
really
young.
are young looking.
Oh, well,
You're
thank you.
aging very well.
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Well,
So you have this company.
yes, yes.
How did it all begin?
Okay. Well, if you ask my husband and I when we got married, if we would have thought our lives would have looked the way they do now, we would have laughed so hard to see where we're at now. But it's cool how the Lord works in mysterious ways and catches you by surprise. But I mentioned that we met down at Liberty University, fell in love, got married, lived there for a few years. There were actually several shaved ice businesses around town, and it's a college town. It was fun to go there, meet your friends, and we fell in love with one in particular down there. And when we would get company for the weekend, out of towners, they would come and we'd take them there, and they loved it. And so anyway, fast forward to moving back, I think in 2012 to the Altoona area to be closer to family. My husband was a special ed and elementary ed teacher, and I majored in interior design, and so.
All things that would help with it.
Seriously,
Right?
I was just thinking, perfect for opening your own business and shaved ice business. Sure.
That is very ironic. So we've always believed that through our marriage, God opens doors and He closes doors.
Right.
And we've always prayed, hey, blow those doors open or slam them shut. We need it to be obvious.
Make it obvious.
Yes. And so we were starting to feel that tug, like there was something different out there for us. And as soon as we started praying, we felt that doors were opening and doors were closing. And we decided to pursue this pipe dream of opening Brainfreezerz. We came to the point where we had to invest either in furthering Matt's education to maintain his teaching license or invest in a small business. And so we decided to go the small business route. And
were your parents going crazy?
They are so supportive.
Good.
My parents have supported us so much through it. My dad has helped us so much with, actually my dad was the one that came up with the name Brainfreezerz.
That's
awesome. We like to sit down and brainstorm with them, and he's helped us a lot with graphics, and you'll see them working in the trailer from time to time, and they've been very supportive all along the way. So we can really appreciate that. All of our family has. We dove into this, and we kind of took inspiration from different food stands that we had seen throughout the years of traveling or just living in Virginia. And a lot of people think that they ask us if it's a franchise, but it's not. We started it from scratch, pulled things that we liked about different businesses.
Made it your own.
Yes, and when we came here, we really missed shaved ice because we didn't really have that around here. Food trucks weren't even very common back 10 years ago here in this area.
That's true.
You're right.
So we were like, hey, let's jump on this because Altoona comes around eventually to the trend.
We get there.
We get there. But and I think we've gotten there now. But so we were like, let's try this. let's do it.
When did you officially open for the first time?
I believe it was 2014.
2014.
Yeah.
Is this your
almost
main
10 years.
gig, or do you?
Yes. So that
this
was
is all you guys have.
just as of a few months ago.
Good
So
for
that was kind of
you.
another big thing. My
Yeah.
husband actually jumped back into teaching soon after we opened Brainfreezerz for a small Christian school in the area. Really poured a ton of time into that job and became the athletic director as well. And so we were seeing, Brainfreezerz in itself is such a full-time commitment, half of the year. It's so crazy. And then the other half of the year was so crazy with the school. And it was heartbreaking, as a wife, to see your husband being pulled in so many different directions. And just like, seeing your kids grow up so quickly and like, oh, I want them to spend time with each other. And we started really praying a couple of years ago that we could be able to make Brainfreezerz a full-time only commitment, and we finally we pulled the plug, and he resigned from teaching last spring, and we are full-time Brainfreezerz
So
now.
how does that work? Because what you need for the year, you have to make in like a window
Right.
this big.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct?
Correct. And so we have to stockpile. We're like saving through the winter or through the spring and summer when in our busy months, and we just we save our money, and we were able to make it through the winter. He took some jobs here and there just to help friends out and things like that, and that was fun. He loves to do that. But it was
now
a
he
big
has the
leap of
freedom
faith.
to do it.
Yes, and he loves to do little, like he built a deck for a friend's family and things like that. And but yeah, it was a huge leap of faith. The last few years we had said, is this the year? Is this the year? And we, again, we're praying for the Lord to just guide us, and we felt that he was closing certain doors and just pushing us to pursue this, and it's been so good for our family.
Good.
We've been able to, we really picked up the catering a few years ago in Brainfreezerz, and I think that is really what helped push us into
Because
that.
you actually go to
Yes.
different places.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, and that's a huge part of our business now. We have our main stand, and soon after we opened that main stand, we were being asked, can you come to our graduation party? Can you serve at our wedding? And so a couple
Actually,
years.
y'all came to our preschool at the
Oh, yeah.
end of the preschool at First Church.
Yes, and
Yeah.
we're going there tomorrow.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So we have loved we've served First Church. I think we've served them other years as
yes,
well.
yes.
And yeah, we just appreciate the support from local churches and schools. We're heading into our busy season of going in and celebrating the end of the school year with many elementary schools. And,
Oh, that's fun.
but yeah, we've done a lot of catering, and that really has given us the push as far as Pittsburgh and State College.
Wow.
And so yeah.
Cool.
It's funny, because when I was a kid, they were snow cones, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
they were like this big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the syrup wasn't
Real
even that
crunchy.
good, and it all sunk to the bottom of the
Yeah.
cone and all
Yeah.
that. And then I moved to Hawaii like 32 years ago.
Oh my goodness.
And
okay.
I was there for a couple years, and shaved ice. It wasn't called
Yes.
snow cone anymore. It
Right.
was called shaved ice, and it was like as big as a baby's head.
Yes.
There's huge.
And I loved that. And
Yeah.
the syrup was like real. you
Yeah.
know? And
Yes.
if we couldn't afford, because we were kind of poor back then, if we couldn't afford to do anything else,
Yeah.
we would get in the car and drive down one side of the island, get a shaved ice
Oh.
for $1. It was $1 then.
Wow.
Huge too. And go sit on the beach and watch the sunset.
Aw.
And then, but you could never get real shaved ice unless, like you said, you were like in a vacation town or
Yeah.
something.
Yep.
So when you guys came, I was like,
Now, someone doesn't really know what you are.
Yes. Yeah.
What do you want? Let them know what you are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some of the
So, shaved ice. I'll first start there. It is different from a snow cone.
It is.
And it's not that typical like crunchy ice, and
It's smoother.
yeah, we describe it as freshly fallen snow.
yes,
know,
it's
and-
packed.
Yes.
Yes.
And so we offer 40 different flavors right now. We special order those
That
flavors.
makes it hard.
Yeah.
Choices.
Matt
Wow.
started posting our menu further back the line so that you can start to get your idea of what you want before you get up to the window. But yeah, so we offer 40 flavors right now, and the island style way to do it is you got to put it with the ice cream underneath. So we started doing that right off the bat. That was our main thing.
That was new to me.
Yeah, me too.
I've never
I-
done it.
I was like on the fence with that. I'm
Okay,
like, I don't
yeah.
know about this.
There were many on the fence. Yeah, there were many on the fence. Some were like, oh, let's just try it. And others were like, okay, I'm going to try it. And then they came back 3 times
Yes.
in the same day. So it is yummy when the flavor melts down into the ice cream, as time goes on that you're eating it. But we also offer 5 different flavors of ice cream. We try to support other local businesses. So we use Richie's ice cream, and we have vanilla, chocolate, mint chocolate chip, coconut nut fudge, and strawberry. And yeah,
Tell us, you've moved
yes, we have.
and you've been in a couple locations, so I want everybody to be clear on where
Thank
we
you.
can find you.
Yes. Yes, we have just moved to the Hobby Lobby parking lot. So if you pull into the Hobby Lobby and you look right, there is a little nice tucked away safe jut off of the parking lot right behind Car Circus. And we love it. We've gotten such good feedback so far from families. We've always prided ourselves in having like a family-friendly environment, but it was hard being right off of the busy roads. We appreciated the exposure, and I think that we were where we needed to be for that time, but now we are so much safer for young families. We're fenced in on 3 of the 4 sides, so you can even come with your girlfriends and sit and let your kids play around, and it's a very safe environment. We're very thankful to be in that location. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. So there you have it, guys. When you're out on that boulevard, don't forget to swing in there. And if you haven't tried Brainfreezerz, you have to do it. It is just a fun experience all in of itself. And when we come back, we will have your tip for the day.
When it's time for a new roof, Champion Roofing is your best choice. We're a certified award-winning roofing contractor, meaning your roof is done right the first time. Call today.
Champion Roofing, we're the solution.
We want to invite you to the summer worship series,
Saturate Altoona.
This has become the most anticipated
multi-church summer event of our community.
With more than 25 churches represented.
We'll have free food and activities
through our blessing booth beginning at 5:30.
Then the service kicks off at 6:30.
Throughout the evening, we'll have worship from one of our community bands,
a prayer focus time,
and then a powerful message
from one of our city pastors. Plan to join us for Saturate Altoona
every Sunday night in June at 6:30 at Heritage Plaza
in downtown Altoona.
You won't want
to miss it.
Today's tip is a hack I found a few years ago on Facebook. I was a bit skeptical, but it has been tried and it really does work. And I'm going to give you a recipe for an environmentally safe weed killer that only uses 3 ingredients, and 2 of them you can find around your house on most days. Don't buy Roundup or any of that chemical mess from the store. If you have weeds in the cracks of your sidewalks, driveways, patios, stones, rocks, etc., this will work. Make sure you spray this on a sunny day in the afternoon when the weeds are not wet from dew in the morning. Now, I will mention to be careful where you spray it because it will kill whatever it touches. So this basic concoction consists of 1 gallon of white vinegar, 2 cups of Epsom salts, and a 1/4 cup of Dawn dish liquid. Yes, I am specific about that. Pour the vinegar, dish soap, and Epsom salt into a spray bottle. Shake it up until it's combined. Let it settle for about 2 minutes and then spray those weeds. Make sure you soak the entire weed with this formula. Let it sit for about a day and then come back and you'll see that all those weeds are gone. So that's all we have for today, but until next week, let's talk about it.